Whew. What is going on, folks? My name is Spice. This is Spice Can't Fish, and today, well, I've got another unboxing video for you guys. So it's been a little while since I've actually filmed or done an unboxing video of any kind. I try and do most of my unboxings over the winter when I can't really do any fishing. Just makes the most sense for me to stock up on all my gear during the off season when I'm not going out and doing a bunch of fishing. And it gives you guys something to watch because, again, I can't go fishing, so I can't really make fishing content. So the next best thing is me making some unboxing content. But I want to go check out the local Dick's Sporting Goods, see what their fishing selection looked like. It's honestly not too terrible. I was just going in there for some line, but while I was in there, I did notice that they actually had a clearance section going on, and they were actually running a pretty solid little deal. It was buy one, get one free for a bunch of their baits. And so, of course, I naturally picked up a whole bag of stuff. Obviously, this bag is a little bit big. I didn't completely fill this up with fishing lures or anything, but I did get a nice little selection of some new baits to try out, mostly soft plastics, which is what I tend to do. And I'll tell you what, this is an absolutely loaded little bag of some stuff, which I am super stoked about. Like I said, all this stuff is clearance stuff with the exception of a couple small things which we'll point out, but everything in this bag cost me $55.42. Like I said, they were doing like a buy one get one if you bought a certain number of baits at Dick's Sporting Goods, and honestly they had some pretty solid baits on sale. So I went ahead and picked up a bunch of stuff, again, loaded up on some new baits. And so yeah, I figured we may as well do a little unboxing of this stuff. I'll show you guys what I picked up, and we'll go through all the stuff that I found while I was raiding the bargain bin. But before we do that, I'm actually going to go ahead and grab me a little cold one real quick. These unboxing videos are generally kind of a pain for me to film, so I'm going to make this a little more fun for myself. Alrighty, so the first thing that I bought, the first thing that we're going to go through, and the whole reason I went into Dick's Sporting Goods in the first place is to pick up some new line. I just needed some new 15-pound fluorocarbon. One of my rods is just about running out of line. Last time I was out fishing, I was pretty much casting all the way down to the spool. So I went and picked up some of this Yozeri hybrid. They didn't really have a ton of really good line selection. They had a couple of different things, but it was either super thin line or super heavy duty line. Didn't really see a whole lot of 15-pound, but did find some of this Yozeri hybrid. This stuff is actually pretty inexpensive, but I have had some decent luck on it. Alrighty, the next two baits are actually a couple little wake baits that I picked up. I've been getting on a pretty solid little wake bait pattern the last few times I've been out. Whether it's been a big swim bait or just a normal size wake bait like these little guys, I've been getting crushed on them. And I just don't have a ton of wake baits, so I figured I'd pick up a couple of these little bombers. Now these are the Bomber Shallow A's, so it's another one of those A series crankbaits by Bomber. These ones are just the wake bait version, so instead of going 3 to 5 foot deep, these ones stay 0 to 1 foot deep. Got two different colors. We got a Foxy Shad on top, which is their Sexy Shad, and then this one on the bottom, which is Green Pearl Shad, just something a little bit more natural. Again, I really like the Bombers. I think they make some pretty solid little baits. The hooks that usually come on these things are pretty trash, but the baits themselves are pretty solid. And I think these things are like $3, maybe $4, so they're not super expensive. Figured I'd pick a couple of them up because they had a couple of good looking colors. And yeah, these are the only baits that I actually bought that weren't on that clearance rack. These and the line, obviously, I didn't buy on sale either. Alrighty, we're going to start off with a bunch of 6 cent stuff. I'm not really sure why, but it seems like Dick's Sporting Goods really likes selling 6 cents baits. There's a few companies like that Dick's Sporting Goods, I guess, has like a really strong partnership with, 6 cents being one of them. If you ever go into a Dick's Sporting Goods, I feel like all the Dick's Sporting Goods I've ever been in, they've got a few different bait companies that they really like to promote. And 6 cents, I feel like I always see a massive selection of their stuff. And then a bunch of 6 cent stuff on clearance, including a couple of their new baits, so I went ahead and grabbed a bunch of that stuff. First up, we got two Vega frogs here. These are just the normal Vega frogs. I also had some of the Vega Hush frogs, which are their non-popping versions. But I just went with the regular Vega frogs. I don't think the Hush frogs were on sale, so just got a couple of the normal ones. Went with two different colors. We got the Shad Spawn color, which is just like a light bait fish color. Kind of just like a normal pro blue shad kind of color, but really good looking bait. And then we also got one of the Black Magic, which is just their black frog with a little bit of blue in there, but mostly just a black frog. So we got a white one and a black one, something a little more natural and something to silhouette a little bit more. Every single time I pick up some new baits, I always try and pick up a couple of new frogs because I don't really have a ton of frogs, especially not a ton of popping frogs. So when I saw the Vega frogs on that little clearance rack, you know I had to pick up a couple of them. I got a bunch of these things already, but never hurts to add a couple more to the arsenal. In fact, if you guys saw my last video, I went out and caught an absolute giant on this Vega frog. Had a couple other bites on this thing, but caught an absolute giant. If you guys want to see that video, I'll leave a link down below for y'all. But yeah, got a couple new Vega frogs from 6 cents, as well as a bunch of new soft plastics from them. First up, we got some of the juggle minnows, and the pumpkin seed sunfish color is a really natural and really good looking color. As you guys know, the juggle minnow is one of those little forward-facing sonar baits. I'm obviously not going to be using it for forward-facing sonar. I'll probably just use this as like a little mini fluke or a drop shot bait or something along those lines. But they're a great looking bait. I think I have a couple of packs of the juggle minnows already. I'm not sure if I have exactly this color, but it's a really sweet looking color regardless. And I'm really excited to get these things in the water at some point. Again, they sell a lot of 6th Sense stuff. I have a lot of 6th Sense stuff. I don't really throw a lot of 6th Sense stuff, but I do have a lot of it. But yeah, really stoked to add these ones to the arsenal. Hopefully we'll be able to get them out in the water and test them out at some point in the future. Speaking of 6th Sense soft plastics that I think I already have one or two of, this is the 3.8-inch Congo Craw. This is just in the green pumpkin color, so just their standard natural green pumpkin. Nothing super special about the color, but these craws look absolutely phenomenal. They have those big flappers on them. They're kind of like a nice mix between a craw and a brush hog, and they are super freaking sweet looking. I'm excited to throw these things around. They'd probably be a great little flipping and pitching bait. Throw them on the back of a jig, or just kind of work them along the bottom as your standard Texas rig. These things look like they're gonna have a ton of action on them. And yeah, again, haven't really heard too much about the Congo Craws. I've seen a few people catch some giant fish on them though, as is the way with most of the 6th Sense baits. So I'm sure once we get these things out in the water and test them out a little bit, we'll probably catch ourselves a couple of fish on them. No guarantees on some absolute giants, but I think these things will definitely get bit. Alrighty, last up from 6th Sense, we've got some of their brand new Fiction Shads. I really haven't heard too much about these baits either, but they look super, super cool. This bait kind of reminds me of the Panorama in that they're probably going to be able to be thrown in a bunch of different ways. I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to rig these things up, so we're definitely going to have to test them out on the water and see what we like about them. They're a little bit big for like a normal drop shot, but you could probably throw them on like a bigger style drop shot or something like that. They're 4.3 inches, so again, a little bit longer of a profile. Maybe throw them on a shaky head or throw them on a power shot or something like that. Maybe even just throw them weightless like a fluke. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to throw these things, but I am super excited to throw them around, see if we can't get bit on them. They are super interesting looking baits at least. And this color is called Ghost Pro Shiner, so it's got kind of like that natural shad shiner look to it. The back's got kind of like this black shad style scale pattern on it, and the rest of the body's super, super natural. The belly on the bait is kind of like a bright white, and then like the middle main body of the bait is almost like this see-through with a little bit of pink purple in it. Really interesting looking color. I'm super excited again to get these things out on the water, see what we can do with them. Next up is a company I was very surprised to see on clearance, that being Megabass. We got a couple of different Megabass products here. First up, we got a pack of the Hazedong Shads, or the Hazedong Shads. I don't exactly know what the correct pronunciation of the name is, but the Hazedong Shads is what I like to call them. This color is green pumpkin chartreuse. I've thrown these baits around a little bit in the bigger size. I haven't thrown the 3-inch size around just yet, but this is a sweet looking little bait right here. And yeah, just a super natural little swim bait. Again, I've thrown these things around a little bit more in a bigger size. I absolutely love these things. They're a great little swim jig or a swim bait trailer. You can throw them on a chatterbait as a trailer as well, but I really like these things either just by themselves on a little swim bait hook or as a trailer on a swim jig. I just feel like they're super natural and thus do really well on like a supernatural presentation. This smaller size I could also see working really well on just like a drop shot or something like that. But regardless, really excited to throw these little Hazedong Shads around. And again, that color is absolutely phenomenal, that green pumpkin chartreuse color. That's a really good looking bait right there. I'm super stoked about that one. Alright, and the other bait that I found on clearance from Megabass is their Sleeper Craw. I actually have a couple of these things, I just don't have one in this color just yet. I'm actually picking these things up for a review style video, so keep on the lookout for that at some point in the future. But yeah, we got ourselves another one of these little Sleeper Craws. This color is the Demon Craw color, so it's just this bright red, almost kind of like a plum apple kind of color. But yeah, really interesting color for this bait. Again, I have a couple of these things. I've been saving them for a review style video or a challenge video at some point in the near future. But this bait's super cool. It's actually got a hook in there, but it's all kind of hidden in the plastic. If I took this thing out of the package, I'd be able to show you, but I'm not going to do that right now. But yeah, it's got a little hidden hook in that little chamber in the middle of the bait. Things are supposed to be super, super lifelike as well. Again, I haven't thrown them around at all. I really don't know how their action looks or what they're capable of doing. Haven't really heard too much about them, to be entirely honest. It seemed like a bait that kind of had a moment where everyone was talking about it, and then as things tend to do, it just kind of moved on to the next little fishing trend. But yeah, regardless, really excited to get this thing in the water. Again, keep on the lookout. I think now that I have like 2 or 3 of these things, I probably should take them out and film a review style video. So if you guys want to see that, let me know down in the comments below. Alrighty. The last few baits that we got out of here are from another company that, again, I think Dick's Sporting Goods really likes to promote. This one's a little bit of a newer company, but I'm sure everyone's heard of it, that being Crush City by Rapala. So we got a couple different baits from them. Again, I already have a ton of these baits. Very similarly to 6th Sense, I've been picking them up pretty much every time I go to the store, but I kind of just been like stockpiling these things for whatever reason. Haven't gotten a chance to get them out on the water just yet. That being said, I have a ton of these things and they look absolutely phenomenal. I've been seeing people absolutely crush them on these baits, hence the name Crush City, obviously. But yeah, I got a couple of packs of these things. We got one of the hedgehogs. This is in the black and blue flake. I've got a pack of the hedgehogs, but I don't think it's in the black and blue flake color, so just picked up a new one of those. And the hedgehog is like their creature or brush hog style bait, so something that I don't really throw all too much, but they look pretty sweet. These ones come in at 4 inches, so again, kind of like that baby brush hog style size. But yeah, these things look sweet. Again, I'm really excited to throw these things around coming in the fall, hopefully. Maybe we'll throw them around in the spring as well. Again, not really a style bait that I have too much confidence in, but I'm excited to give it a shot at least. But yeah, another new Crush City bait that, again, haven't had a chance to throw around or really hear too much about. I feel like this is a kind of presentation that I, along with a lot of other people, don't really throw too much. Personally, I feel like a brush hog is kind of an old-timey style bait. I feel like a lot of people used to throw them. Some people still do, obviously, but it's kind of taken a back seat to like all the flappy craws that we have all these days. Feels like a lot of people are kind of moving away from that long, slender creature or brush hog style bait for whatever reason. But Crush City decided to come out with one, so I figured I'd pick up another pack of them. Like I said, I think I have a pack of these already, but no harm in having another one, right? And the last couple of packs of baits that I got from Crush City are actually a couple packs of their pig sticks, which is their Senko style bait. And I'm sure these things are going to be fish catchers. Again, I think I have a couple of packs of these pig sticks, but picked up a couple of colors that I didn't think that I already had. First up, we got a pack of their baby bass color, which is absolutely phenomenal. It's just kind of like a watermelon kind of color with some gold and black flake in it. It doesn't look like your traditional baby bass where there's like 2 kind of defined sections. Most of the time when you see baby bass color, the top half of it will be kind of like this greenish color, and the bottom half is just going to be like a white or a pearl or something like that. But this is kind of just like a nice little green pumpkin kind of color almost, and I really like that. I think that's a sweet looking little bait right there. And we also just got a pack of their black, which is not just black, it's actually black with a little bit of silver flake in there as well, which I really like. I feel like you don't really see a lot of black and silver flake colors. But yeah, really excited to throw around the pig stick. Again, I love the Senko. You guys probably see me throw a ton of Senkos. Although this past year I've been trying to experiment more with a fluke. But generally, I love to throw a Senko. I love throwing around a little worm, especially this time of the year, summer, spring, early fall. These fish absolutely love a little weightless Senko presentation. And so yeah, I figured I'd pick up a couple of these ones. Again, it's a company that I don't really know all too much about, something I haven't really thrown around. And I got a couple of colors that I feel like I don't really see a whole lot, or at least not in this rendition. Again, that's a weird looking baby bass, but weird in a good way, so I'm excited to throw that thing around. And this black with a silver flake is a really interesting rendition of like a darker water kind of color. So really excited to throw both of these things at some point in the near future. But yeah, that is going to do it for the unboxing. That's everything I picked up. Again, like I said, most of this stuff is soft plastics. And again, the vast majority of this stuff was also from the clearance rack. It's insane that I was able to get all this stuff for $55 and a few cents, but I'm super stoked about that. Let me know if you guys liked the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see some more content from me again. And yeah, let me know if you guys want to see any of these baits specifically in any videos coming up. I'll do my absolute best to get these things out in the water as soon as I possibly can. But yeah, again, thanks for watching the video. Check and wreck them, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.